First off, let me give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and leaders of GMS, Great Millstone. Right? Salutations to the Akim out there who are sincerely doing the work of the Lord, who are in the vineyard, working for that penny a day, building the house of David by Atawada. And Shalom to the few Akwat out there who are listening and learning, in meekness. Right? This lesson is more on exhortation, on constancy, on being constant, right? Because we're in this truth and we're laboring, day by day, and there are, many temptations that we come across, many distractions that we come across, many concerns in the flesh, many trials, that we have to deal with, whether it be, your workplace, you're consumed in work some of the time, whether it be, problems with your family, your children, your woman, there are a lot of things, and then you have different TV shows, different sports, they call them now, sports events, stuff like that. There are a lot of things that are out there to distract you from doing the truth, right? And really and truly, we should remain constant in all this. Our faith toward Yahweh Hashem Yahushai should remain unmovable. So what I wanted to do was get into that word constant, right? Bring out a few precepts that show the definition of that word, so that brothers can meditate upon this word, meditate upon the word constant, and pray to the Lord to give you, constancy, right? So this is from the Etymology Dictionary online. Constant, from late 14th century, steadfast, right? Let's look up that word steadfast. So we're going to look up a lot of words in this lesson, right? So steadfast, resolutely or dutifully firm and unwavering, right? So in our faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai should be resolutely or dutifully firm and unwavering. Nothing should let us sway from our faith, right? No matter what trials we got through, just like Job. Job's faith was tested in the most profound way, and he was resolutely or dutifully firm. Paul's faith was tested. Yahushai's faith was tested. The apostles' faith was tested. You have countless other prophets, and righteous men whose faith was tested, but yet they remained resolutely or dutifully firm and unwavering. The apostles, we are present day examples. The apostles have been on the road for decades, right? Their faith has been tested in a lot of ways, right? But they're there, out there pushing the word with the most intensity, right? Still after so many decades, right? So they are resolutely or dutifully firm, right? So it says steadfast, resolute, and we just saw resolute in the definition for steadfast, so we don't have to look up that. Patient, right? Let's look up the word patient. Let's see what it means. So patient, able to accept or tolerate delays, problems, or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious, right? So really and truly, we are when we're patient, we're annoyed, we're accepting what, or we're able to suffer what, we're able to suffer our trials, our tribulations, different things that come to test what type of metal you are made of, what type of material you're made of. And patience, is the ability to suffer all of that, Because when you go back to the word, when you look up the word patient, it goes right back to suffering, right? That's why in the definition here it says, or suffering without becoming annoyed. And here, from Latin, patient, paciente, suffering, from the verb pati, right? So the word patient actually means to endure suffering, right? Unshakable, and we know what that means, fixed or firm in mind. From Old English, constant, or directly from the Latin, constantem, standing firm, stable, steadfast, faithful. Let's look up that word stable, right? Of an object or structure not likely to give way or overturn, firmly fixed, right? And for all these definitions that I'm bringing out, consider your faith, consider, this work, and apply these definitions to the work, to the faith, to the loyalty, to the brotherhood, right? It says not likely to give away or overturn, firmly fixed, right? Don't be like that seed that was cast in the stony ground, right? Or that seed that was cast in the thorns, right? We should not be easily turned aside. We should not be turned aside any at all. Lord willing, we're part of the elect, yo. It says, of a patient, so that doesn't apply. Sane and sensible, not easily upset or disturbed, not likely to change or fail, firmly established. Right? So that's us. Right? We should not be likely to change or fail. We should be firmly established in this truth, yo. Right, moving on. So we looked up steadfast already. Faithful, present participle to constare, to stand together. Right? Alluding to what? Alluding to the brotherhood. Standing together with the men on the highways and the byways in faith, making up that temple, that house of Yahushai. Right? The house of Yahweh Salakia, where Yahushai is the head. Right? So constant goes back to even what? Standing together, standing with the brotherhood, yo. Showing you how important that brotherhood is. Because really and truly, that's the most important part of this truth, yo, of this walk that we're in, yo. Yes, we don't discount faith. Faith is key, is a key element. Yes, we don't discount doing the work, whether it be side shows, whether it be sit downs, whether it be live streams, whether it be going on the highways and the byways and teaching this truth. But if you do all of those and you are not sincere towards the brotherhood, right? If you don't stand together, right, then all your work is in vain, yo. As Paul said in Romans, in Shalakia chapter 1 Corinthians chapter 13, right? If he has charity, he's become as a sounding cymbal, yo. Right? So let's go into a couple of scriptures that highlight the importance of constancy. This is 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain. We're going to touch on a few words, and I'm guessing you know the words, right? So first we're going to look at the word steadfast, right? Be ye steadfast. All right, let's play it. For some reason it's not playing. That's fine. All right, the word is it looks like hedge. There we go. Hedraias. All right. So from the Strong's definition, it says from a derivative of hezomai, to sit, immovable, settled, steadfast. Right. It says firm, immovable, steadfast. Let's look up that word firm, because we're looking up a lot of words, to get into this this idea of constancy. So it says firm, having a solid, almost unyielding surface or structure, solidly in place and stable, having steady but not excessive power or strength, showing resolute determination and strength of character, strongly felt and unlikely to change, steadfast and constant, decided upon and fixed or definite, having a steady value which is more likely to rise than fall. Right? All these things should describe your work and your faith and your connection to the brotherhood, yo. Right? Having a solid, almost unyielding surface or structure, solidly in place and stable, having a steady but not excessive power and strength, showing resolute determination, right, and strength of character, right? Strongly felt and unlikely to change. So we went into firm. Let's go into unmovable in the dictionary. Immovable, salakia. Not able to be moved. Not yielding to argument or pressure. Right? Those pressures allude to what? Those pressures allude to the trials and tribulation that test you, yo. Fixed or unchangeable. Right? So I believe that's it for that word. Let's go on to the next one. All right, so the next one we're going to look on is be, so we went into steadfast, so let's go into unmovable. Let's see if the Cracker will pronounce it.
Strong's G 277. Ametakinitas. Ametakinitas.
Ametakinitas. Right. So Strong's info says immovable, unmovable. Right. Not to be moved from its place. Right. Metaphor, firmly persistent. Let's look up that word, persistent. Right. Continuing firmly or obstinately, which means stubbornly, in an opinion or course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. So that's us, yo. We're continuing firmly and obstinately in this work, in this walk, doing this work, going out in the highways and the byways, doing lessons, hoping and having faith in Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai Bashem, Rakah Kodash, in spite of difficulty, in spite of the things that we go through every day, in spite of our trials, in spite of temptations that come our way. So we do all this in spite of difficulty or opposition, continuing to exist or occur for a prolonged period, right? So I believe that's it. So that's it that we can bring on, right? Continuing to occur or exist over a prolonged period of time, right? So it's a firmly persistent. So that's us, yo. Firmly persistent, continuing in the face of opposition or difficulty, right? Let's go back. So that's it for that that verse right there. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as you know that your labor is not in vain, and we know that we have utter faith in that the work that we're doing right now, we will be rewarded. Therefore, we do it gladly, yo. We do it gladly without restraint, right? So this is Colossians chapter 1 verse 23. If ye continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be moved and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel which ye have heard, and which was preached to every creature which is under heaven. Wherefore I, Paul, am a minister. Now, as you guess, we're going to look up the words grounded and settled. Right? So let's go to grounded first.
Strong's G 2311. Themeliao. Themeliao.
To lay the foundation, to found. Let's look up that word found. Right? Having discovered by chance or unexpectedly, right? It says, this is the verb that we need, not it. Yeah, the verb. Here we go. To establish or originate, right? Plan and begin the building of, right? For example, that alluding to that scripture, say, if you're you're building a house, you count the costs, right? So plan and begin the building of a settlement, serve as a basis for. So the basic one that we need to focus on is the establish or originate, right? A foundation, right? So we're going to look, even the word foundation, we're going to go into, So we're laying the foundation for our faith. And what's the foundation? The foundation are the prophecies. The foundation is faith. The foundation is brotherhood, To make stable, to establish, right? Let's see if we can look up that word foundation. Right, the lowest load-bearing part of a building, typically below ground level, right? An underlying basis or principle, the action of establishing an institution or organization, right? So we know what our foundation is, right? To make stable, to established, right? I believe we looked up the word stable, right? Let's look up the word establish. It says to set up on a firm or permanent basis, to achieve permanent acceptance or recognition for. Show to be true or certain by determining the facts. Ensure that one's remaining cards in a suit will be winners, if not trumped, by playing off the high cards in that suit, right? So the basic point that we're bringing out is to set up a firm and an important and permanent basis for, right? And to achieve permanent acceptance or recognition for. All those things refer to us, So we'll lay the foundation, we make it stable and establish it, right? So if you continued in the faith, grounded and settled, so let's look up that word settled now. And it's the same Greek word that we looked up before, hydraos.
Strong's G 1476. Hydraios.
Right? Firm, immovable, steadfast, right? Same word we looked up before. So I believe that's it for that precept, right? So going on to Ephesians chapter 2, verse 20, right? Let's start from verse 19. Know therefore ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and of the household of Yahweh. Because first we were scattered. We had become Gentiles. We had, cast off our Israelite identity and lost our heritage. And the Lord scattered us among the nations where we took on, Gentile customs. We took on Gentile identities, took on a Gentile language. We married Gentile women, and our children became Gentiles, by way of culture and socialization. But now, we have come back to the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. We have now become fellow citizens again. We have been adopted through the grace and sacrifice of Yahweh Shai. All right, so now we are in the household of Yahweh again. We are Israelites, right? And are built upon the foundation of what? The apostles and the prophets, Yahweh Shai himself being the chief cornerstone, right? So all the work that we are doing now, right? We are continuing the work of the prophets who have existed from millennia, from the beginning, yo. We are continuing that same secret work, yo, the work of Isaiah, the work of Jeremiah, the work of Ezekiel, the work of the prophets in the garden, because the scriptures tell you that they were prophets back then, yo. All these prophets and great men, all these apostles, we are continuing in the same work, yo, and we are some of those men, right, through the reincarnation, yo, which, yes, is in the Bible, right? In whom all the building fitly framed together, growing unto an holy temple in the Lord, in whom also you are built together for an habitation of Yahweh through the Spirit. So Yahweh lives through us, yo. Right? The Spirit of the Most High lives in the brotherhood as a whole, yo. All right? And if you're not part of that brotherhood, then, the Spirit of the Lord won't be fully dealing with you, yo. Right? If you reject the brotherhood, right? Because as we looked up, in one of the first words we looked up, being constant, it means to stand together, yo. We're standing together with the fellow citizens and the saints, yo. Right? So I want to look up that word fitly framed together. Right? So it's one Greek word. Right? So let me see.
Strong's G 4883. Sunar Malageo. Sunar Malageo.
Sunar Malageo. Right? To join closer together. Right? To frame together parts of a building, the members of the body. Talking about what? Brotherhood. So we should be close together, yo. We should frame together and form part of that building, yo. Right? Fitly framed together. Right? I believe that's it for that word. Right? So it says, in whom all the building fitly framed together, growing unto a temple and holy temple of the Lord. Right? So if we recap, because I believe we can wrap up the lesson now, not to go on too long. We brought out the importance of that word constancy. Right? I believe I didn't continue down here, meaning steadfast in attachment to a person or cause. Right? We know that we're steadfast in our attachment to this truth. That's our cause, right? Fixed, not varying, continual, enduring. And we know the word endure means to make hard, mean regularly recurring. Yeah, we regularly do this work, yo. We regularly show our faith. We regularly, connect with brothers, yo. So, just to wrap it up, the idea is to what? To remain the same, in whatever you go through in your day-to-day life, you remain the same. Your faith remains the same. Your personality remains the same. Your character remains the same. The work that you do remains the same, right? So that, if the Lord wills it and we remain the same until the end, or endure until the end, we shall be saved. We shall be exalted and glorified. The idea is to remain constant, remain the same, steadfast, unmovable, continuing dutifully until the Lord Yahweh Shai comes, yo. Right? So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I hope that this provided exhortation to the Akim out there, pushing this truth. Shalom.